Hi guys, welcome to this Moneycontrol live stream. You're watching Closing Bell with me, Nandita Khemka.
And I'm Yatin Mota.
Well, Yatin, Friday Fury has completely singed stocks given the fact that the Nifty has clocked in a triple-digit cut and slipped below the 19,300 mark as well. And the Sensex also down by about 300 to 400 points or thereabouts. But it's the a fifth straight week of losses for the indices. But for the week, if you look at the mid and small cap indices, they have managed to outperform the benchmarks and ended with gains of somewhere around 2% or thereabouts. But for today, if you look at the sectoral movers, all of them have ended the day in the red, led by the PSU banking pack. That, of course, has been one of the top laggards this week itself on a weekly basis. Pharma is another pack that has not done well. Realty was down 1.5% in today's session. And if you look at some of the Nifty losers, you had the likes of Dr. Reddy's, Adani Ports, JSW Steel, IndusInd Bank, L&T, and gainers were few and far between today. Bajaj Twins being on the gainers list on the back of Jeffrey's upgrade. Asian Paints, ONGC, Bajaj Finance, as I mentioned, and a few private sector banks have also done okay in today's session. Broader markets were holding out through the week, but today even they succumbed to selling pressure, and the Nifty mid cap index lost somewhere around 0.8% by the end of trade. But as I was mentioning, mid cap index down in the red. What are the movers that were there in today's session?
So, if you look at the markets, clearly the advance decline ratio was almost 1:2, and it deteriorated in the second half. In fact, all the sectors were in the red. If you talk about the movers today, Idea Cellular, which is Vodafone Idea, that stock moved nearly 10% after ET reported that the company is in the final talks and has term sheets from various investors, and they are also on the fast pace to complete their capital expenditure plan. And post that report, stock moved 10%. Indiable Housing Finance, and that stock was in focus after they have fully paid almost $300 million worth of external commercial borrowings. That stock moved up nearly 10% in trade. What was not doing well is the likes of Shoppers Stop. Stock was down 13%. GMR Infra, the stock is in FNO ban, closed at the day's low, down 4%. Lodha, BEML were the other stocks wherein there was some profit taking at higher levels. Both of these stocks falling by nearly 4%. Most importantly, Nandita, today Geo Financial Services was in focus. Cash turnovers exceeding 6,000 crores. Stock was marginally higher, but yes, the kind of lower circuits that we saw in Geo Finance have finally stopped, and now the stock saw some green in trade today, closing near that 215 mark after making a low of 202.
Right, Yatin. So those were the movers and shakers, and of course, we'll be watching out for the Reliance AGM as well next week. But let's first talk about the stocks that are on our radar this afternoon. Shoppers Stop, the top laggard on the Nifty 500 today. Of course, there has been a top level exit, which is why the stock was down somewhere around 10% or thereabouts. Venugopal Nair, who's the CEO and MD of the company, has resigned citing personal reasons, and Kavindra Mishra, who's the chief commercial officer, has been elevated. This change will come into effect from the 31st of August. And concerns over the CEO exit is something that has weighed in on sentiment. Mind you, Yatin, this is the third CEO change for Shoppers Stop since 2018. In 2018, you had Govind Shikhande. He had resigned in place. You had Mr. Rajiv Suri, who also left, citing personal reasons in the middle of the pandemic. And, Venu Nair, of course, was appointed back in November 2020. And this frequent MD level change is something that has been weighing in on the shares of Shoppers Stop. Nair had actually put the company on a strong growth path, and he had actually looked to reinvent the company, and he had laid greater emphasis on growing the private label business, and he had done that pretty well, and he had laid greater emphasis on the beauty business as well. And because of that, a turnaround was taking shape at Shoppers Stop, but now there's been a break of sorts, and with this CEO change, the street is actually watching out for how Kavindra Mishra will take forward this growth plan. Given the fact that he also comes with a fair bit of retail experience, that's something that the street will be watching out for, and that's something that will, shape up the future trajectory of Shoppers Stop going forward.
Absolutely, and this is one stock we'll be watching out for. Apart from that, Nomura today upgraded the stock of Bajaj Finserv, and both Bajaj Finance and Finserv were moving in trade. Despite a weak market, Bajaj Finserv managed to close 2.5% higher. Nomura has upgraded the stock to a buy with a target of 1,815. So from the current market price, a 20% upside is what Nomura sees in the stock. They believe that Bajaj Finance contributes to 80% of the 80 of the SOTP valuation of Bajaj Finserv. And if you look at the other financial subsidiaries, there is some lucrative valuation which is therein for Bajaj Finance. In fact, the valuations for Bajaj Finserv are lower than HDFC Life and SBI Life due to low VNB margin profile. And probably from here on, you could see some a bit of upgrade on the valuation side. So, Nomura sounding bullish on the stock of Bajaj Finserv, and obviously in a weak market, the stock was holding out quite well.
Well, those were the stocks on our radar, Yatin, but lots of cues to watch out for next week. Today, we will have a Fed chairperson, Jerome Powell, giving a speech at the Jackson Hole Symposium. That's something that the street is keenly watching out for, and that could be the next trigger for global markets as well as domestic markets, because that will provide us an insight into the Fed's future rate trajectory. And of course, Monday we have Reliance's AGM, lots of announcement expected in terms of geofinancial as well, since it's the newest entrant into the market. But do you think anything on what we should be expecting from the AGM this time around?
Reliance AGM is always a big event in the company's calendar for the year. And if you look at Reliance, four verticals in which we'll watch out for the management commentary. Number one is Geo Financial Services, the newly listed company in which the management strategy has not been clear. Not much is available in the public domain with respect to the strategy here and the kind of growth plans the company has. So probably you expect, Mr. Mukesh Ambani, the chairman of Reliance Group, to really talk on geofinancial services. Also, one new area that Reliance is, bullish on and has been incurring large capex is the green hydrogen business. What is the strategy there is something we'll be watching out for. And obviously, three other parts of Reliance Industries: retail, telecom, as well as O2C business. And what is the growth strategy there? Because recently there were various fundraising rounds which happened in Reliance Retail. So, what is the expansion plan there, fundraise plan? That is something we're watching out for. And obviously, every AGM there is a speculation of value unlocking. And what is the management, thinking about that particular shareholder expectation is something we'll watch out for keenly.
Well, of course, and we will be tracking the AGM very closely and getting you live coverage of that on Monday as well. So tune in for that. But of course, it's a goodbye from Yatin and me. It's a weekend, and Yatin can't wait to go and start his weekend plans. And so do I. But thanks a lot for watching. If you have any comments, leave them in the comment section below. And of course, come back on Monday morning and join me on Morning Trade at 8:30 a.m. But for now, it's a goodbye. Thanks a lot for watching. Stay tuned to Moneycontrol for all your other news and updates. चलो हो गया 8 मिनट में तो